I get it, you're standing on your porch, staring at that patch of grass that's starting to look more like a jungle than a lawn, and you're wondering if you should finally hand over a few $100 to a robot mower instead of spending another weekend pushing a gas-powered cutter. You've probably read a few hype videos that promise set it and forget it, but you also worry about the little things that never get mentioned. What happens when the mower hits a garden gnome, how it deals with a sudden rainstorm, or whether it can actually manage a half-acre with a lot of twists and turns. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Mammotion's LUBA 3 is the brand's third-generation autonomous mower, and it's built around something they call tri-fusion navigation. In plain English, that means the machine is using a mix of 360-degree LiDAR scanning, real-time kinematic RTK GPS, and AI-driven path planning to figure out where it is, where it's supposed to go, and what it should avoid. The promise sounds solid, but the real question is whether that tech translates into a lawn that actually looks decent without you having to babysit it all summer. Let's start with the kind of yard that makes this mower shine. If you have a lot of irregular borders, think a winding driveway, a few flower beds, maybe a small slope that makes a regular push mower wobble, the LUBA 3's off-road performance is a genuine advantage. The 360 LiDAR gives it a three-dimensional picture of the space, so it can spot a low garden bench or a stray garden hose and steer around it without stopping the whole run. In my own testing, the mower took a slow, deliberate curve around a wooden swing set and kept mowing a clean strip right up to the fence. That kind of confidence is something you don't get from a cheaper model that just bounces off obstacles or, worse, tries to push through them. The cutting power is another practical point. With a 165-watt motor, the LUBA 3 can slice through medium-thick grass without bogging down. I ran it on a lawn that had a patch of 3-inch growth after a rainy week, and it still managed a consistent cut, though it did slow a little in the thickest spot. If you have a very dense, thatchy yard, you might notice the mower taking an extra few minutes to finish the perimeter, but it won't leave you with half-cut strips like some lighter-weight bots. Now, where the value really comes into play is the scheduling and the AI path planning. You can program the mower to work on a daily basis, a few times a week, or only when the weather looks good. The app learns the shape of your lawn over a few cycles and starts optimizing its route, reducing the amount of overlap and shaving off up to 20% of runtime compared with a nave back-and-forth pattern. In practice, that means a lower electricity bill and less wear on the cutting blades, which you'll need to replace about once a year if you're mowing a full acre. That said, there are some hidden trade-offs you should be aware of before you click Add to Cart. First, the LUBA 3 is designed for up to 0.75 acre, and while the company says it can handle larger spaces with extra mapping, you'll quickly notice the limitations if your yard stretches beyond that. The mower will still run, but it will take longer to finish a full pass, and you might have to split the schedule into multiple sessions to avoid overheating the motor. Second, the reliance on LiDAR and RTK GPS means you need a fairly clear line of sight to the sky. If your yard is hemmed in by tall trees or a dense canopy, the positioning can drift, causing the mower to wander off track or pause while it recalibrates. Another practical weakness is the initial setup time. Unboxing the LUBA 3 feels straightforward. The box contains the mower, a charging base, the control hub, and a quick start guide, but getting the system calibrated takes about 30 minutes of patient tweaking. You have to place the base on a level surface, walk the perimeter to set the boundary, and then let the LiDAR do a full sweep. If you're not comfortable spending that kind of time with a tech-heavy gadget, you might end up feeling frustrated. The upside is that once it's done, you rarely have to touch it again. Who should buy this robot? If you're a homeowner with a medium-sized lawn, up to 3/4 of an acre, a decent Wi-Fi signal, and a willingness to spend a little time up front to get the mapping right, the LUBA 3 offers a compelling blend of precision navigation and decent cutting power. It's especially attractive for people who have mobility issues, busy schedules, or simply hate the chore of mowing every weekend. The AI path planning and obstacle avoidance mean you can let it run while you're at work, and you'll come home to a lawn that looks like someone actually cared about it. Who should skip it? If you have a very small yard, say less than